about preserving our elders' legacy, memory, and grief. I don't know if you've seen that stuff on Instagram, but it's like, ask your mom these stories right now, or ask your like little books so that you can kind of get like the whole
I've
history.
seen it. It's come up on my timeline time after time.
So this is a really like interesting topic because, you know, part of grief sometimes is like running out of time. And like, I wish I would have asked my significant other or parent or aunt or, you know, even immigrant stories I think about, right? Because like we know like I know that my dad immigrated here. I don't like, you know, more of his story, more of his like past and things like that. So yeah, this is just honoring the wisdom and legacy of our elders, you know, like ways to preserve their stories, traditions, values. And this will kind of help with the grief.
Yeah, I just feel like there's just no OGs anymore, right? Like there's just no OGs. And I also feel like, you know, we don't take the time to preserve our elderly. Like did you see Miss Holla? Oh, and she just passed, but they were recording her journey and they were asking her these questions. And I think it was like her niece or somebody was asking her these questions. And, you know, like when you're older, you get to a certain age that you just don't, what comes, it's like verbal diarrhea.
You have no filter.
There's no filter. You don't care. You don't care what people think about you. You're like, whatever. And she would just say the most wildest stuff that it would just leave me in stitches because we're like, Miss Holla, like, and I don't even think they just started to call her Miss Holla. Like, so she had a huge following before she passed, but you know, they were recording her. We're in such an era that we just did 2 other episodes that we were like, well, we don't have recordings of their brothers that passed. We don't have just voice notes, or, you know, we just have these pictures and they're very little bit of pictures that, like, how do we preserve our elderly, you know, and their stories and their timeline. And again, right, even with immigration, you know, when my dad emigrated here, you know, like he came here on a student visa from Ghana, you know, like what is his stories? How was he as a kid, you know, and things. And, you know, we used to sit around during the holidays and that's what he would talk about. But I feel like we don't do that enough anymore.
It's so important to know our history. You know, it's so important to know our history, know where we came from, because it's like, the more you're educated on your past, on the struggles, also history repeats itself. If you can learn from all of your parents' mistakes and their parents' mistakes, then you will have an easier time probably navigating life. And maybe you'll get into things that maybe you're like, hey, maybe I should get into that field because my great grandfather, you know.
Like even like sewing, right? Like we bring it back to sewing and stitching and just like your older ways of living, like their survival skills and things like that. So I definitely
we talked
feel
about here like recipes, like, oh my gosh, having the recipes, having like,
wait, didn't you say that your mom has your mom has a recipe book?
Oh my God, my mom
I want
makes
that,
this
I want
lemon
the
loaf
oxtails. No,
and
I
the
want the oxtails.
Oh my God, I'm so hungry.
Dame chivo, mama.
I'm about to so I'm so like, my mom is such a good cook. And it's funny because I'll say like, oh my God, I love how you make this, and she'll be like, oh my God, it's so easy, this, and I'm like, what? Yeah, it's not that easy.
No, it's not. It's like my mom
Everything
and her meatloaf.
is like from scratch, you know?
Yeah. And again, right, we don't, because of where we are with this processed food and, you know, everything like that, like, we don't know what, and even to take it a step further, when I went to Ghana, the woman, Sarah, that she was like cooking for us, she was, you know, helping my auntie over there. And she actually passed maybe like a couple of months after we left. But I was like, okay, I need the recipe for peanut butter soup. Dude, this soup is to
and
die
it has like a
for.
Peanut butter flavor?
Nope. It's this spice, and you can make it with chicken, and it's just so I'm like asking her.
It's like Thai, because Thai has like an influence of like
nothing
peanut flavor. Wow.
No. It's more Hispanic, actually. Ecuadorians have the similar soup.
Oh, wow.
So, and I forgot, I think I was talking to Betty about it. It's so funny. But regardless of that, I'm looking at the recipe and she's like, oh, a little bit of this, a little bit. I said, I don't understand a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I need a tablespoon, teaspoon, a dash of it.
It's like, I don't know, tablespoon, teaspoon. Like, I do it until the ancestors tell me to stop.
That's it.
Like how much cumin am I putting in this? How much turmeric?
That's it.
And so,
yes.
So the ancestors are like,
Yeah, that's enough,
that's
girl.
Good. That's enough, baby.
That's a heart attack waiting to happen.
That's enough. They're gonna get that sugar.
Yes. And that's the thing. So when she had given it to me, I don't even know where it is. It's somewhere. I know exactly which book it's in because I always have like journals when I travel, and I have it, and I'm like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. And I made it, but it was too thick. And Nelson's like, just add water. I go,
Ugh.
I said, leave it to a man to say add water.
Just add water. Or just, let's order Domino's. That's what I would have said. I would have been like, you know
thanks
what,
for trying.
We ordered it.
But it was
a good
so,
try, baby.
but it was so good. Like, it was just, he was like, wow, and it was over COVID. So I had the time to like really take my time with it and
that
put it in there.
was a time where people were really like learning a lot of recipes, like, because you're home. You know? And a lot of families were like in a pod together. So it was like, oh my God, can you make this food? Can you make that food? And, but yeah, like creative ways. You can do like, recordings, right? You can like ask questions, like like when you go, I see like these old like old Italian weddings, like, hey, give a message to the bride and groom, or things like that, like those type of things where like you get the family together and you start to like ask questions and things like that. Or you can write letters, you can do journals, you can have
what project
memoirs.
Can I tell you what project we did over? I actually have to call my cousin on that. So she was like, we need to do the lineage of our Ghanaian side of the family. So my grandfather, Jonathan, and then my grandmother, Cecilia, which, by the way, Ceci is my middle name. It's after my grandmother. And the reason how I got that, my mom was 8 months pregnant when she passed. So my dad wasn't here when my mom gave birth because he was in Ghana burying his mom.
Interesting.
Yeah. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like, over there, they will keep the body on ice for like 6 months to a year, so all the family can come together.
Sure that everybody can come and say their goodbyes.
So we did the lineage of my grandfather and like his side of the family, and then we did my grandmother's side of the family, and it was very interesting because my Aunt Dorothy was giving all the information, and then whatever other information. So we do have a family tree. I'm just still waiting for her to send it. I'm gonna have to text her.
My mom has done some work on that, and I've have to, like, I'm always like, how are we related to this person? How are we? And I always ask her, and she like goes through the whole thing. But this is prompting me to like really write it down. Yeah. Because like my mom has gone so far back, we know like who wasn't free. Right. Like we have people in our family where it's like this husband bought his wife's freedom. Wow. So that he could, like you paid a certain amount of money, you could buy your free at a certain time, you could buy the freedom. Right. And then like that's how they were together. Right. You know what I mean? And it was like, you didn't even know that. Nobody knows that. And then there's also some older graves because there are some places where they were slave graveyards. Yes. So like nobody cared about preserving those cemeteries.
Especially South Carolina.
Yeah, so it's like, so we have seen some graves that were really old. Wow. Or really, like you can tell, like this little tiny piece of tombstone, who it belonged to. Right. But like you would never know from seeing it. Right. But yeah, that's really important. You know? So like we've been able to like go and visit graves of people like that were here before us. Like, and I'd be like, who's this? Like, this is his dad, and this is her.
It's like when we went to Ellis Island. Yeah. And then I brought this travel radio and we're listening to Jerry Springer. I can't. Listen, we got stories for days, y'all.
And I think that's what it says, the role of storytelling in grief, how retelling and hearing their stories can comfort us, and passing stories to younger generations. Like, you've ever heard a story about your grandma or your grandfather, you're like, what? Yeah. Yeah, so it's really good to, like, know these stories and, like, pass it on and, like, I think it's great. I think we really have to like do a better job of like asking elders, like, what do you want to carry forward? Like, what do you want to preserve?
So it's so funny that you bring that up, right? So I actually there was this video that I saw on Instagram, and it was this young man, and he said to his mom, he was just like, oh, I just want to do this. I want to interview you. And instead, like, the questions that he asked, which I actually have the questions here, so I'll kind of put it out there. And if anybody wants them, like, if you want to go and interview, like, your parents, like, and see. And he said that it was so beautiful to really get to know his mom as a person, not just as a mom.
Right.
So now, like, you get to see them as who they were before they had children. So a couple of questions were like, what was life like for you growing up? What do you remember from your first days of motherhood? What's been your favorite memory of us, like of them two together? What do you want or wish most for your children? If you can redo anything in your life, what would it be? What's one thing you want me to always remember you after you're gone? And lastly, what do you want to tell your grand and great grandchildren? I thought that was so, like, those last two questions were like, because it's like, we're not going to live forever, right? Like, newsflash, like, we're all going to eventually die. We just don't know when. And that's like the gift of life, right? You don't know when you're coming into this world. You don't know when you're coming out. But what do you want to leave behind so everybody else can hear your legacy? So I thought that was so profounding when I saw the video a couple of years back, and I copied and pasted it, and the questions, because he actually put the questions on. Now I got to look for that video. Yeah. It's going to drive me nuts. Yeah. But it was a very emotional video. But those are great
questions, because it's like getting to know your parents without being your parents, like adult to adult. And I think that's like kind of the joy of like getting older. You can ask questions. I'm not going to be like, when did you lose your virginity?
No, I don't want to know. Well, I actually asked my dad. I said,
oh,
Dad.
God, I knew I should have said shit like that.
I asked him, I said, well, what made you choose mommy? He was like, oh, I had mad girls and this, that. I was like, here we go. Right. And I'm like, I was like, but what made you choose mommy? And he was like, oh, she was a wild one. And I was like,
I asked my mom why. I was like, where did you guys meet for your first date? And they're like, oh, we met in front of St. Patrick's Cathedral. And I was like, why did you choose there? She's like, because I didn't know if he was a murderer or something. And it's true. You meet people in New York, you meet them like, oh, what's up? Let's link. Okay, let's meet here, whatever. Like this is before cell phones and stuff. So it's like way before you have to meet in a public place. But I was like, good job, Mom.
I didn't ask them where they met. Now I'm going to have to ask my mom. She's going to be like, I don't remember.
I want to know how your parents met.
Well, I just know that they were just like partiers. Like they really thought they were Bonnie and Clyde. Like they thought. They thought. And then surprise, she got pregnant with me. And yeah, I don't know where exactly they met, but they had a lot of mutual friends that I still I kind of keep in touch with them or touch with their kids.
But I think it's so interesting to find the stories of how things happened. Yeah. And also his history in Ghana and it's a different world. I couldn't even begin to understand.
Oh yeah. He told me so many stories.
It's another continent. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like coming here and how things are different. I think about it all the time. I was, I've had a issue with DMV lately.
You know what?
But I was navigating all the things you have to do for DMV. And I was like, I could never do this as a non-English speaking person.
Imagine.
Because I saw there were some Africans there. There were some Hispanic, and I'm like, none of these people have English as their first language. Nope. And
they make you learn in Ghana. But they make you learn
I had to do the paperwork 3 times. They were like, ma'am, this is not your license. This is original. Ma'am, I'm like, oh my God.
Lincoln School.
Public school. They're like, you are not the owner of this car. This is a lease. You need to put Tesla. And I'm like, well,
you see, that's what I told you.
Yeah.
I told you that.
Yeah. So I had to go and do that and then go back, forward. So I was like, but I said, my mom came with me because I'm 41 and still need my mom to do things with me. And I was like, Mommy, I could never imagine doing this as a non-English speaking person. So even those type of things, what were the struggles that you faced? How did you get around that? Okay, I'm going to say it now because whatever. My grandmother's 92 or whatever.
Oh, she's so cute.
So my grandmother came and she was the first translator in the courts for the town where me and Jess were raised.
I never knew that.
So I was like, how did you come from Cuba and get a job at the courts translating? And she says, oh, I said that I had this degree in that. And I said, well, when they asked you to present it, what did you say? And she's like, oh no, honey, I tell them that it burned in a fire in Cuba. I said, what? She said, yeah, I tell them that in Cuba, the fire happened, and I'm like, and you got the job? And she's like, yeah. My grandmother just winged it.
That's it. That's what you have to do.
And I remember coming from Queens, 6 years old, coming to Jersey, going to her job, and she had this nice desk and
I love that.
In the office, and she was helping people do all this stuff, and I was like,
imagine that.
This girl just
Sometimes you
She
gotta
just wings it, and it's
survival.
But the balls that it takes. Imagine me going to another country and being like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do this here. Where's your credentials? It burned in a fire.
Yeah.
Hire me anyway."
You know, it's so funny that you say that because I had a student that, you know, again, they came from Cuba. The mom was an actual doctor over there, and when now here, she had to get her license all over again. And guess what? A phlebotomist.
Oh wow.
Like all she does is like do the blood, and she was a doctor.
Yeah.
In Cuba.
That's so
Yeah.
common in like DR and Cuba and the Caribbean. That's like you're like this, and then you have to come here, and it's just like
they set you back.
Don't value it enough.
Yeah, they set you back.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, we can get into all that story. But you know, and then like healing towards action, I thought was a really good, like turning grief into purpose by building something in their honor. So it's like, well, what would you do for Mima? What would you do for her?
I'd throw a fucking party.
Yeah.
She likes to dance.
Oh, I love that.
She likes to dance, and she likes a gin and tonics. My cousin always orders a gin and tonic because that's my grandmother's drink.
I love that.
So we'd have to do like the Mima, and it'd be like a gin and tonic.
Why don't we just call it the Mima?
The Mima.
That's it.
The Mima.
I'm gonna go to the bar now and be like, "Can I have the Mima?" And they're gonna be like, "What the hell's a Mima?"
Be like, "Ma'am,
ma'am, are you already drunk?"
Like Hendrix and tonic, please.
And then the other thing was how preserving legacies allows us to grieve with gratitude. So just to be so grateful that they went through a lot of struggles. Like, you know, we talk about like, oh, look, first world problems, you know what I mean? But like, imagine going through third world problems, you know, even Cuba, in Africa, in different things.
Like a really bad story.
Oh my God.
I'm thinking of something crazy that my dad said. And if he watches this, he's going to be mortified, but I have to say it.
I can't. I'm ready.
So my father is an immigrant from Argentina, right? Yeah. And he's like pro-America. Like, he came here, he was wearing like the jacket of like the American flag, and he was like a rocker, and like he loved 80s
like my
music.
Dad.
Like very,
Sounds like my
people
dad.
who came here, they love the American culture, right?
And the American dream.
And so when
That's a nightmare.
The American dream. And so when all this immigration stuff started, my dad was like, fuck is wrong? Because like in the 80s, it wasn't really, you know what I mean? It was like, you know, the hell? Like everybody came here and did their thing and whatever. And like, whatever. All this stuff about immigration happened. And he was like, I don't know what this problem is with immigration. All this stuff, you know, you come here, you make a living, you come here. Because it's his perspective is like, I'm coming from like countries that it's unsafe or whatever. I come here, I'm trying to make a living. And it's true. He came here, he made a living. And so, you know, God rest her soul, my sister, he's like, look, I came here, my daughter, she's a lieutenant in the Navy, she's a doctor, and I brought her here in my bulls.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
And that is a story that I will never forget of my sister and my dad. It was like, what made you say that?
He came out of left
field. But
field.
it's so true. Like, it's what he's saying is true. Like, it's like, I'm an immigrant. I came from like, you know, a place that wasn't safe.
Right.
And I come here and I work my ass off, and I have children, and my children become professionals, and you know, and they're contributing members of society, right? And it's like all this stuff, and it's like, yeah, if I didn't come here and bring my girls and my balls, then you wouldn't have this, you know, this podcaster. You know?
I'm saying. I'm just saying. And my dad being with the wild one.
I mean, at that time, it's true. I was selling $4 million properties in the city. Like, I'm self-sufficient. I'm great. Like, my sister is like a doctor in the Navy. Like, we was going out to dinner. Me and my sister was splitting the check. My mom was like, okay, you know, like, but it's true. So it's like, I think that's like part of his legacy is like immigration can be a very beautiful thing. Like, stop being an asshole.
Know. Yeah, I don't know.
I think we're going to get flagged on this episode.
We're totally getting flagged.
Sorry, Marvin.
We're totally getting flagged, but that's okay.
Marvin's like, did you say balls?
Well, I don't think it's that one. I think it was probably the F-bombs, but who cares?
Maybe the other ones.
Who cares about it?
We told you this one was going to be more fun because the last two were a little
heavy. A little heavy.
We like to switch it up.
Yeah. So like, so you said Mima would be the gin and tonic.
The gin and tonic, and like definitely dancing.
I have to think for my mom. I would have to ask my mom. I would have to ask her. I would want to ask her and be like, but then so she gets into this thing like, well, I'm not going to die right now. Why are you like,
right.
So, and then like she just texted me the other day. She was like, oh, I was dreaming of Sean all night. And I'm like, I'm in the middle of driving. Like, why would you text me? Like, I can't even address this right now.
Right.
Like, I'm not in this mindset. Like, I'm driving to the farm with my kid, and
Right.
and she texts me that, and so I think I want to ask her. Like, I kind of want to ask her, and I do have to call my
What
aunt
do you
in
want to be
Ghana.
remembered by? Yeah.
I'm gonna call my aunt in Ghana, and I'm gonna be like, Aunt Dorothy, like, what do you want? Like, what is it that you want to be remembered for? Besides, you're stubborn. She's very stubborn, and she's the boss. She's the boss of everyone. She was mama.
I think I would fight to keep libraries open for my mom.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Because it's
yeah.
like people don't think that the library is like an important thing anymore.
I bring my baby twice a week.
Libraries it is such an amazing resource, and it's free. Libraries give classes on teaching English
Yes.
to new arrivals to the country.
Yes.
That's internet. They do all these things
Tech
for you.
serve. They do like tech serving on Saturdays by me.
There's
like
so many amazing programs.
Yeah.
I'm such a big advocate for the library. I've always
too.
loved the library. My mom has been fighting for like keeping libraries open
Well,
and
yeah,
doing
a lot
cool
of them
programs.
are actually shutting down. I know mine is shut down temporarily. A few of them actually in the area are shut down temporarily because they're remodeling them. So they had gotten grants.
Well, it's hard to get funding and grants for libraries
Yeah.
because people are just like, we have the internet at home. It's like, not everybody.
Yeah. And they have like the museum passes. They have so many
Right.
things
You
in
know
the
how many
library.
people can't afford their light bill, get their light cut off, and
But
have to go
I
to the
think-
library to use the computers or
Yeah.
read books or things like that.
And even just let's say that you can't afford books, like you can rent books for free, and the audiobooks and the free
And movies.
Yep.
Oh my God, I love this. This is becoming, my mom's going to love this. She's going to be like, you killed your dad in this episode.
Not necessarily.
But thanks for advocating on the library.
But I will say this, and then we can start wrapping it up. I think, and maybe you can confirm this, in the New York Library, but it's only through the lineage of your dad. So it has to be father lineage, and it can actually go so far back that you can find out your lineage of your family. But it's only through the father. I don't know why, like through the mom,
Interesting.
but it's only through the father.
I like the catalog of the old newspapers.
Yes,
Where you can pick a date and find the newspaper of that day. That's like so amazing to me.
They have like a whole thing, like a whole little
Yeah.
scan thing. Please, these kids don't even know what a card catalog is.
Go to the library. Get the damn library card.
We know what a card catalog is. When the first beginning, the 3 letters and this.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Mama Isabel, am I making you proud? Well, thank you guys for joining us. We had so much fun on this episode. And, you can follow us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Instagram. Did I
Oh,
miss
you got
any?
them all. You got them all quick.
I did, because I closed my eyes and I was like, check.
Find us, love us,
Yes.
share us, get us to the communities we need, and ask your older people in your family some questions. Keep your legacy alive.
And we're
Everybody
10
has a
steps
special
ahead.
story.
And we're 10 steps ahead. You have phones that record now. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.